Big game breakdown continues here on Sportsman. Big Monday action on ESPN tonight. The late game. Oklahoma travels to Kansas to take on the Jayhawks. Right now, Kansas 8.5, total 166.5. We've seen a little bit of money come in on the over in early betting action on Monday. You look at the Big 12 standings. Lo and behold, all the struggles Kansas had, and I'm midway through the season, I'm like, this Jayhawks team isn't getting there. They're not as good. Something's wrong with Kansas. And here we are, late February, and there's Kansas right on top of the Big 12 standings. This is a team that has won 13 consecutive Big 12 titles. The Big 12 is, in my opinion, the deepest league in college basketball. When you look at the teams that are number 8 and number 7 in the Big 12 standings, number 9 in the Big 12 standings, they can beat anybody. And that's not the case at the bottom of the ACC, the bottom of the Big 10, and the likes. And there's Kansas. Of course, now the Keenan Evans injury for Texas Tech really opens the door for Kansas to win title number 14 in a row. Kansas State, West Virginia, right now, trailing by 2 games in the standings. First meeting between these two teams, Oklahoma was -2. Final score, Sooners 85, Jayhawks 80. What happened? Well, back and forth game. Kansas was up 80-77 with just over 2 minutes to go. 8-0 Oklahoma closeout in that contest, and it was a battle of point guards. And the battle went to the freshman, not to the senior. Trae Young was phenomenal in that first meeting. Scored 26 points on 9 shot attempts. 2 or 3 from on the arc. He had 10 or 12 from the free throw line. He had 9 assists in that contest. Trae Young was brilliant. Devontae Graham, not so much. 11 points, 4 of 19 shooting, 1 of 9 from three-point land. It is worth noting he did have 9 assists and only 2 turnovers, while Trae Young turned the ball over 5 times in that contest. What was the Jayhawks' defensive game plan? Real simple. They wanted to hold Trae Young to 9 shots, limit his shots, get the ball out of his hands. They did. But in that game, the other Sooners held up their end of the bargain. They hit shots. But when we look at Oklahoma since that win, Sporting Cast hasn't stepped up particularly well at all. The wheels have come off, let's be honest. 1-6 straight up, 0-7 against the spread. Since that win, their only victory came by exactly 2 points. Last 3 losses coming by 8, 10, and 11. They're not battling down to the wire. 1-10 against the spread in their last 11. And you say, have the markets bottomed out on Oklahoma? I'm not convinced they have. Is this team worn out? Sure looks that way. You read the quotes coming out of the Sooner locker room. This is not a happy squad. And look, over the weekend, Young defended really well, but he didn't have a whole lot of energy against Texas. He was 7 of 21 from the field, 3 of 10 on triples, 7 assists and 3 turnovers. The problem, as has been the problem, or one of the problems for a team that's, sliding right now in a big way. The rest of the players on Oklahoma combined to shoot 13 of 44. Lon Kruger. Love Lon Kruger. Lon Kruger, one head coach who deserves respect. All right. We believe what Lon Kruger tells us. Quote, we just have to keep working at it. There is not any shortcut to it. A lot of it is related to confidence and getting some shots to go down and feeling good about it. Try to get a bit of movement. More movement away from the ball, perhaps, and get the ball moving off the pass a little bit more. Just anything to find a spark. They need a spark. They look worn down, and you look at Trae Young, who was the best Frosh player in the country for most of the season. He hasn't been great during this current 5-game skid. 35 of 100 shooting, 10 of 51 from beyond the arc. If you're not hitting 20% of your three-point shots, and you're taking more than half of them from three-point range, not pretty. 40 assists, 26 turnovers in a 5-game span. That's too many. Sooners, of course, having to deal with the short turnaround as well when it comes to playing in these Monday ball games. Kansas coming off a heck of a rally. I'll tell you what, I had a little West Virginia in my pocket the other day. I was not amused by what happened in that contest. The Mountaineers led, the 8-minute mark? They're up by 10 on the road at Fog Allen Fieldhouse. 3 minutes left. West Virginia's still up by 5. You're not sweating if you got West Virginia plus 3.5 in your pocket. Well, that 66-61 with 3 minutes left turned into a 77-69 final. Yes, That's a 16-3 run out over the last 3 minutes for the Jayhawks. Some of that definitely had to do with what happened at the free throw line. This got a fair bit of pub after the game. Take a look at the numbers, free throws. And look, West Virginia presses, Kansas does not. I understand that. You don't often see free throw disparities, shooting disparities like this. West Virginia, they shot 2 attempts. Kansas shot 35. West Virginia whistled for nearly twice as many fouls as Kansas in that ballgame. There were a couple at the end. There were a couple of scramble. I think it was 4 free throws at the end after the West Virginia intentionally fouled. So that's 2 fouls and 4 free throws. And then Huggy Bear got a couple of technicals at the end as well to add to the free throw numbers. But the bottom line is, well, I'll let Huggins tell you. Quote, I've been doing this 40 years. I don't think I've ever been in a game where we shot 2 free throws. I don't think I've ever been in a game where the disparity was 35-2. I've never been in a game like that. So you take out the technical free throws, take out the intentional fouls at the end. It's still like 27-2 ratio for West Virginia. So the question is, this is a Jayhawks team. They got all the calls on Saturday. Are the refs going to be really working on being fair and balanced tonight? You wonder how that affects the refereeing for this ballgame. And of course, you say, hey, West Virginia was shooting triples. When you're shooting 3-pointers, you don't get to the free throw line. Well, again, a 35-2 free throw shooting disparity. West Virginia shot 26 triples. Kansas shot 22. There wasn't a significant disparity there. Bill Self, his biggest concern early, does this Kansas team have the toughness of its predecessors? We're really starting to see Kansas show toughness right now. They've impressed me over the course of the last couple of weeks. And one key on that front is the big man, the 7-footer, the kid who didn't play basketball till he was in 9th grade, Udoa Azubuike. He's really developing into a low post force right now. 40 points and 6 blocks. And 40 points and 6 block shots in the last 2 games. He scored at least 16 in 4 of the last 5. His inside presence gives Kansas something they desperately needed all season. The Jayhawks right now playing some of their best ball of the year. If I'm playing, I'm laying. As Kansas battles Oklahoma. Loaded show tomorrow. Be sure to check back in to Sportsbet Betting Insight today. We're going to have Eastern Conference second half preview for the NBA. We're going to have deep dive with Dave Mason. Of course, all the big game breakdowns you expect. Check back. Between then and now, enjoy the games. And good luck. Thanks for watching. Please tell your friends, give us a like, give us a retweet, give us a comment. Thanks so much. Best of luck tonight. Like the show? Help us keep the lights on. Please make sure to comment, share, and subscribe to all the Sportsbook Review videos. Thanks so much. Best of luck. Enjoy the game.